Oh, hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name's Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, your health strategist and internationally published author. And I'm here to change your mindset, transform you from where you are right now in your life, your business, your health, your fitness, to becoming unstoppable. And today what I want to talk about is mental blocks. We all have them. And we have them at different times. They're unpredictable for whatever reason. They just seem to come by and say, bam, where has that come from? And before you know it, you've just wasted a whole bunch of time. And it could be, let's take a look at what's going on right now. So in my country here, I mean, it's happening all around the world, but in my locality right here, even though the numbers are small relative to, say, the US and other parts of the world, the approach is just different here with COVID. And we have, I think it's 39 suburbs that have been have been locked down due to what's been going on with the coronavirus. We've had a dramatic spike in Australia and it's in my hometown. Now, my suburb was identified as one of the hot spots a few weeks ago, but we've currently got 0 cases in our suburb, but there's I think yesterday there was 124 cases identified yesterday. The day before that, I think there was 66. The day before that, it was like 75 and in the 70s. So it's the single biggest spike that we've had since the outbreak began. And it's now gotten into like public housing. They've shut down 3,000 people, basically locking them into their public housing. And like there's a high-rise apartments, 9 buildings of apartments housing 3,000 people. They have the police on each floor and at the bottom of the buildings as well. It's a massive thing that they're doing. So those parts of the suburbs aren't allowed to go out of their homes apart from any reason other than for work, for some grocery shopping, and I think they're going to be tested at the doctor, and I think there's one other reason as well. But those in the public housing, they're not allowed to leave at all. So all their service, like all their essential items are being brought to them and that type of stuff. Now, you can start to feel that it's having an impact on the broader community. I mean, for right now, for instance, I was in the supermarket not that long ago, say an hour or so ago, and it's interesting to see that a lot of the fresh produce is off the shelves. It's missing. Ironically, there's still plenty of toilet paper, there's flour, there's pasta, and all those things that were gone before. Now it's the fresh produce. Really, really curious, because most people don't tend to eat a lot of fresh produce. And so you can just feel in the community that there's a sense of frustration that people haven't done the right thing, so therefore we've been stuck with this. We, like my suburb, we're okay. We're allowed to still be doing things as normal. I can run my business as normal. My studio is open so I can see people in my studio. We've been like that for, this is the second week now. So there's just this feeling that we could be shut down again. People are frustrated, they're annoyed. It's not a normal sense of living. They're wondering when they're going to be able to travel again and be able to do the things that they used to want to do. Go to the football and watch the football, sit in the stands and do those kinds of things. So many things are still affected. But then you look at somewhere like the US, and even though the numbers are growing dramatically, Donald Trump is saying that like 99% of people are recovering anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Now, maybe he's right on the money there. Maybe he is. So you've got people that are still affected in terms of their businesses, but there's obviously, it depends on state to state, and there's some people that are running businesses and other people that aren't. So we're sitting in this world where there's a lot of uncertainty. And you are on your own mission, aren't you? So you're running your own business, your own job, your own life, and you've got these things at the start of the year where you probably said, do you know what, these are the things that I want to do this year. And then by March, COVID came along, knocked you off your route, and you're now either treading water a little bit. I mean, I'm speaking to a lot of people that are so super busy, some that have really benefit out of the situation because they're in part of the food chain and their services are highly in demand, or they're as part of the product cycle of requiring, the manufacturing of like health goods and stuff, whether it be gloves or masks or sanitizer or any of those types of products. Some people have really benefited, but then there's been a whole bunch of people that have lost their jobs. Some people that are like in my type of industry, in the health and fitness industry, some have completely left the industry, some are still shut down, some won't reopen again, some have been completely disillusioned, and some have lost a lot of money, whilst others have done really well. So I've used the time to grow my business and grow other areas of my business and create new avenues for my business. But that's only come from a very focused mindset. But even me, I will find there are times when I can get into this funk, if you like, and you seem to be cruising along quite nicely, and then for whatever reason, whether it's fatigue, whether it's just one more hit and you've been knocked down one more time, and you get stuck in this place where you think, I'm not really sure why I'm just sitting in this one place. I'm not sure why I'm spinning my wheels and I'm not being as productive as I was before. I'm not getting the things done that I thought I probably should. So I've got 3 tips as to what I do to help get out of this place. And one of the things that I've noticed with the media, like the Australian media is terrible. I mean, they're looking for a bad story, as they are all over the world, but Australians we have this tall poppy syndrome where if somebody's succeeding, they want to cut them down to size really quickly. They do it really badly here, the media. So there's that media, so the formal media, if you like, that's on TV. But then you've got social media as well. And it can be so distracting. So I find that I have days where I won't look at the news, I won't look at social media, I won't post anything on social media, even though that I know sometimes that could be to the detriment of my business because I've got to be on there all the time. I find that I just need a break from some of that stuff, because as soon as you jump on there, you can get distracted by all this other content and you think, wow, geez, now what was I doing here again? And so I just think my number one tip is to block out the noise. Now you find what the noise is for you. For me, sometimes it's the media. If you listen to the TV all the time, or the radio, listening to the news channel all the time, then you're going to find that it gets under your skin, and all of a sudden that's all you're thinking about. And the doom and gloom that they like to paint the world with, you can start to absorb some of that. The same thing can happen on social media. Depending on the groups that you're mixed with, there's a lot of toxicity out there. Like I've got some clients of mine, some of them not active, but I because we might be friends on Facebook, you see some of the stuff that they put on there and you think, oh my God, that is so toxic. Why are you posting such dribble? Get a hold of your life, grow up. This is senseless dribble that you are posting here, and it's really damaging to you. So I just have times where I just block it out. I think, how can I block it out? Switch off the TV, don't listen to the radio, listen to other things that are more empowering, and just don't be distracted. That's the first thing, because I find that you can get easily distracted. Number 2 is to say to myself, so what's really important to me right now? What do I want to be working on? Because let's just use this as an example. Let's just say that you are listening to podcasts and you think, well, I'm doing the right thing. Like JT talks about it. I talked about it just like 2 days ago, talking about my success blueprint each day and what I'm doing and listening to podcasts. I think if you listen to a variety of podcasts, then that can be troublesome. It certainly is for me. So I find that, well, hang on a second. Let's just say, for instance, you listen to JT, then you say you might go and listen to something like of Tony Robbins. You might listen to something of Grant Cardone. You might listen to something of Russell Brunson. You might listen to something of someone else. And before you know it, even though they're all very successful people, they all tackle it a little bit differently and think, well, hang on, JT says this, Tony Robbins says this, which, you either agree with it or you don't agree with it, or you relate or you don't. And I find if you're doing a lot of that, then it can get really confusing. So what I do is find, all right, I'm going to listen to JT because I know the impact that he's had on me. I've had a Tony Robbins coach before, and that wasn't as successful as I thought it could have been. So I don't listen to that very often at all now. So it's just JT that I'll listen to. And sometimes it might be something else if I'm doing some study or something on another topic. But that's pretty much it. And then I say, so what is important to me right now? So if I look at that 90-day period, I was so laser focused every single day, and I said, okay, these are the things that are important to me. I could do a little bit of each of these every day, but I thought, no, I'm going to tackle this website first, my main website, studiospt.com.au. I said, I'm going to completely redo that. I'm going to start at the home page. I'm going to go through every element. I'm going to add in new programs, add in a shop, and do all of those things that I've never had in there before. And that's what I did. Then I moved on to the next one and the next one. And then I worked on the online program, and it just grew from there. But I was so focused every single day. And that was fantastic. I had some more time, so I didn't have as many contact hours with that coaching and everything. Then now I've picked up another 20 plus sessions since we've come back. So that time was so crucial for me, and I knew it at the time. I said, you know what? When am I ever going to get potentially not? And at the time I thought, I reckon we'll be shut down for 90 days, and we were just over. And so I thought, when am I going to get that time again? So don't waste a second of it. And I had people coming in to see me saying that, oh, they're bored, they're on their JobKeeper, payments from the government, and they didn't know what to do. And I'm like, really? I said, how can you be bored? I just don't get it. But so anyway, that's what I do. So I think, what is important to me right now? Where is my focus? I need to create that focus, because if you're distracted, if you find that you do have this mental block, you're not focused. You haven't identified a key goal that's important to you right now. Not like, what do you want to accomplish by the end of the year, but what's important to you right now? What do you need to accomplish right now? And that might be one or two things. We're not particularly good as humans at multitasking that well, so maybe it's just one. Pick that one big thing that you say, do you know what? This is what I need to focus on right now. I use a good example for myself. So we're in school holidays at the moment. The kids are with me for another few days. And these are the days where I'm really hard on myself. I shouldn't be, but I'm hard on myself because I want to make sure that I'm still growing the business and doing all the things that I need to do. But I also want to make sure that I'm spending the time with my girls so that I can connect with them and do some things with them. Now, they understand that I've got to do work through the day, and like right now I'm recording this and I could be spending time with them, but they know that I've got to do these things. And then coming up in about 15 minutes time, for the next 3 hours, I'm going to be flat out. So I get the dad guilt on that, because I'm like, man, I'm not being the proper dad that I want to be for the kids, because I've got to do this stuff, and I start really early in the morning, and now I work in the late afternoon and evening as well. So I find that I beat myself up on that. I really shouldn't. So what I do is, when it's school holidays, I say, okay, one of my key focuses is making sure that I do connect with the kids and spend a bit more time with them, and not be so hard on myself in getting as much done as I normally would when they're at school. And I'm still not good at that. I've got to tell you, I'm still not good. I still beat myself up and say, I could have done more. I could have done better as a dad and as a business person, but I'm still trying. So what I do is I say, well, what are the key things that I need to focus on today? And so for this week, I've got 2 big things that I want to focus on, and that's what I'm doing. And I've already done that for today, and so I'm proud of what I did for today in that regards. The third thing is, what am I going to do every day to move myself closer to the outcome that I want? Because, again, that's going to take focus. You can say, well, I'm going to write a book, for instance. But if you don't focus on that every single day, it's not just going to happen. That's a longer term thing, but you need to do something on it every single day so that you can make it happen faster. Or whatever it is for you, make sure, like for me, I mentioned about the various websites. It's like every single day, I'm going to make sure that I focus on that until that's done. Because what I have done in the past has just done a little bit of everything and hope that, well, I'll get a lot more done that way. But for me personally, I find that that doesn't work. I've got to say, okay, I'm going to completely finish this before I move on to the next one. And once I do that, I find that, that creates some momentum, some focus, some energy for me, and that sense of accomplishment, especially when they're big things like a website or the online program. I created 4 websites. Two of them are much smaller. Launched my book, created an online program, created 2 other coaching programs, built shops into my websites as well as some other content, and all over a 90-day period, when it's a lot of things that I've been talking about for years of doing and never really, I guess, appreciating when was I going to get to it. It's just like, oh yeah, one day I'll have a look at that. And it wasn't until I went through the exercise of going through all the websites that I realized, man, there's so much stuff in here that is just out of date, or it's just not relevant anymore, or there's missing pieces because my business has grown and changed and evolved so much since I first created that content or that post. So it was such a valuable time. And so whenever anything comes by that you think, man, I really don't like this, like COVID, it provided me with an amazing opportunity to change, evolve, innovate, and create some new opportunities. So I thrived on that period, and if there is another shutdown, I'm looking forward to that too, because I know exactly what I'm going to do on the next 90 days or next 30 days, whatever it is. So for me, they're the 3 things that help shake me up, help shake off the blues or that mental block, or get me moving back in that same direction. And that is block out the noise, number 1. Work out, number 2, what's important to me right now to do. In other words, focus on that. And then number 3 is, what are you going to do each day to make sure that you're moving yourself closer every day to the outcome that you want? For me, that's gold. So, you have a great day wherever you are in the world. I hope you're staying safe and you're COVID-free. If you want to find out more about how you can work with me, you can go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, scroll to the very bottom. You can click on there, you can opt in for a free consultation, and we can love to just have a conversation and see how we could be, whether we're a good fit and how we could work together. So have a good day, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye.